a married woman, but your husband is currently incarcerated. You've lost so much behind your husband, such as lots of money, car, home. I've met a new man with all of his own. What should I do? Should I consider leaving?
So did you know what your husband was involved in before he went in jail?
Oh, hell.
Did you reap the benefits of the lifestyle that he provided for you before he went to jail? When you preface the question that you've lost all of these things, I lost money, I'm facing legal charges, the house and the cars or whatever, we don't get to play victim to the situations that we knew about, is why I asked the question. Because if your husband was out in these streets feeling like he had to provide a certain lifestyle for you that you reap the benefits of, and went awry and he lost it, now you're like, well, should I just move on to the next guy? That's not how that works. If you know what someone is involved in and they taking care of you while they home, if they face a situation when they are essentially down, that's your turn to prove how down you are, because that's what you signed up for by reaping the benefits of the lifestyle that he was living. Now, the woman that is a victim to that, or the woman that did not know, I was bamboozled, I thought he was living right, he got me losing all my. You don't get to say he got me losing all of these things that you signed up for. Because when the money was rolling in, you was on them trips, you had that bag, you had that car. This is the time to prove how much of a wife you really are. Okay. This is not your time to be figuring out, well, 12 to 17 months, you got this, I'm finna go with the next guy. That makes you an opportunist, not a wife.
Yeah. Things happening, you know, financially for me, and the respect left the table. And this person, you know, broke up with me, but now I'm back to a better place financially, spiritually, and mentally. And now this person is trying to come.
Nope. Hey. Nope.
But wait, hold, but no.
Gang, my G. Kerr. As deep as I could dig, as much as I could think, as many metaphors as I could give you, dog, they all boil down to one common denominator, my Kerr. Cause here's the thing, bro. We gotta acknowledge that two things are often true at one time. Thing one that's true is that realistically, people don't owe you for richer or for poorer until y'all marry, bro. We can be honest about that. But also, I'm looking out for what you do and don't do before we marry. I'm looking at what skills and what traits you display before we married, and I see you're not built to weather no storm, shorty. And that's fine. You got that choice. You actually are not obligated to stick around while I'm going through it, because we not unified in that regard right now. However, I see that you made your choice. You chose to get off this goddamn boat. And now that my little tugboat is a yacht, you better learn how to swim if you want to keep looking at it.
Married?
I'm going through a divorce.
What happened with that?
Basically, my husband stopped meeting my expectations.
What you mean?
So when I met him, when I met my husband, I told him what I expect from a man. The number one rule with being with me is you have to provide. I won't settle for anything less. So my husband ended up losing his job.
He had a job?
Yeah,
where he worked at?
He had a job. He was a manager at a warehouse.
Put the mic in so these people can hear you. He was a manager at the warehouse?
Mm-hmm. He was a manager at a warehouse.
Okay.
So he ended up losing his job. He came home and he told me. I'm like, okay, cool. All right. So a month went by, and he looked for me to pay the bills. Who paying what bills? So I was going to consider it if he gave me the money back for paying the bills. And he told me no. He felt like he shouldn't have to do that. What do you mean? When I told you, as a man, I expect you to provide. Under no circumstances will I ever touch bills as long as I got a husband. None. If you can you can hear.
He probably happy you gone, though.
I'm sure he missed me.
A headache? That would be a headache for me. Like, I know I just lost my job. What if he lied? You know, niggas do that. Like, I just lost my job, baby, to test. But what is he doing now?
That's childish. Like, what you testing me for? That's childish.
I'm saying to see what I got. Now I see what I got.
If you asked me to be your wife, you knew what you had.
Nah, I ain't thinking I now lose my job from the warehouse and they gonna do that.
I mean, but you knew what it was.
So
Like, you knew what it was. I told you who I was from the beginning, and you still asked me to be your wife.
Oh, you told him that if he loses his job, you gonna throw it away?
I didn't tell him that, but I told him,
What'd you
like,
tell him?
you are to provide. And I told him, baby, your money is my money, and my money is my money. And so he didn't have any more money, and that was a problem for me. So he came home, and he was like, babe, I lost my job. I'm like, all right, cool. So a month later, like, the bills, it was time for the bills or whatever, and I'm like, the bills due, babe, or whatever. And he was like, okay, I'm not working. And I'm just, in a month, like, it's all kind of hustles. You could have been doing something or whatever. So I told him, I said, look, if I pay these bills, are you going to pay me the money back? This man had the nerve to tell me, why should I pay my wife back for paying our bills? I told this man from day one, my money is my money, and his money is our money. Why should I spend my money paying the bills? Like, no, he should have paid me back. So that's when I decided, like, I can't be with this man no more. So I had texted his homeboy. Like, we all cool. I texted his homeboy or whatever. We went together. I met up with him. And we was chilling, we was drinking or whatever. And I started venting. I started getting emotional. One thing led to the next. I did not purposely mean to do what I did with his friend. But things happen. Like, y'all understand what I'm going through. So, his friend ended up giving me some money or whatever. And he was like, babe, look, don't worry about it. Handle whatever you got to handle. Like, his friend was every single thing I desire in a man. Like,
a man can spend years providing, protecting, and sacrificing for a woman, but the moment he loses his job, his money, or finds himself in a difficult season, suddenly the relationship starts to change. And that forces many men to ask a painful question. Was she in love with me, or was she in love with what I could provide? Because a man can lose his money without losing his character. He can struggle financially and still remain the same loyal, loving man. And if a woman can stand beside him when he has everything but leaves the moment he has nothing, then maybe the man wasn't loved. Maybe he was simply useful. Now I need you to be honest. If a man loses his money but remains a good man, should his woman stay and struggle with him, or is she justified in leaving? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section, and I'll see you all in another one, okay? Bye.